Okay, Councilmember Coughlin.
Well, thanks for the quick second go around. I realized I missed two questions, one of which Councilmember Younger covered on just again, going back, if only 4 developers have taken advantage of the current 12-year exemption, have we talked to them and do we know that they're going to take advantage of the current program? But I think Councilmember Younger covered that. The other question I had, I wanted to answer one of the public comments we had, which was basically of is there anything that prevents an owner from taking advantage of the 12 or 20-year exemption, especially like the 20-year exemption, which is then supposed to stay at the 20% low income rate for the next 99 years, of taking advantage of that, building the building and then selling it. And then that, and then the new owners would no longer need to follow the market rate. I think I saw that buried in there. If you're ready for the section number 3.78.040, subsection A, subsection 2 ensures it, but I just wanted to be sure that there's not some loophole there where somebody can build the building and then they don't have to abide by this if they sell it down the road.
No, typically we would require a notice to title for something as significant as that, and then they would be in breach of the contract that they sign for affordability. So we haven't had a situation where someone has not honored their contract to this point, but that's what the expectation is.
Okay. Yeah,
that's what the annual reporting is also.
The covenant or deed is described. Okay. That sounds like Attorney Finelli, you're nodding. That.
I was just going to say, we have had situations where there have been sales and the obligation has been transferred to the new owner and the city gets notice of that and our office reviews it.
Okay, thanks for confirming that. That's it, thank you.
Councilmember Walker.
Thank you, President Goodnow. So the 60% is basically 80% of a Bremerton AMI, is that correct? It's basically the equivalent of an 80% of the Bremerton AMI, as opposed to the MSA or the Kitsap County-wide.
Yeah, it's more approaching that number.
Thank you.
Okay, so let's see, where am I at? I look at the year as being very successful for getting housing units for us. In fact, when I came on council, the number was 1. And I'm just going to take a stab, but somebody can correct me if they'd like. But we weren't getting many housing units built in the city for many years leading up to this program being launched. That's my understanding, at least. Now, I do find the 12-year program disappointing, but I do wonder that if we change that program, are we going to have this unintended consequence of even fewer people taking advantage of it? I look at, so we have a housing shortage, we have an affordability issue, and people turn to government, right? They turn to us to solve this problem. We're not in a place to build a housing area, right? That's not our thing. So we have to incentivize, we might be able to incentivize something with the housing authority, but the other option is to incentivize builders. And I hear the term pencil out, and I was using it too, like, oh, pencil out. But part of what we're talking about is risk. So investors are investing their own money. It's real money. It's not just this buckets of money at a corporation that they don't know what to do with, right? Like, this is people's money, and they're investing it. So they're taking, so what, to me, these programs help take some of the risk out of them building here. And it could just be that somebody wants to build a building and they're shopping around some different areas. And this program makes it better to build in Bremerton than it does Burien, right? Like, and it seems to be working, right? Like, we're getting more units. So much so that the DCD department is busy and we've had to hire staff to keep up with it. And then the mayor frequently shows us how amazing this is for the city. And I think it's because of this. I think this is our success. And I think this is like, you know, I'm just afraid that if we remove the 8 and tweak the 12 too much, that things could just dry up. You know, I don't know. I don't have that. And like the JLARC report, it's unclear and unconclusive that things will work the way we hope they will. I mean, I wish, I'm conflicted here. Like, and I do think that we need housing at all income levels. And I do feel like these both are tools in our toolbox to make, just like when we talk about the police department or the fire department about not wanting to cut something, a program, not get something. We talk about all the tools available. These are tools that have been providing housing, not at the affordable level we like, but they've also been providing an economic boom. And these are more folks that are in the city, right? We literally have, or soon to have, 1,000 more units in the city. These people are shopping in Bremerton, they're spending money in Bremerton, they're doing all the things that we do in the city. And that has an increase and helps our bottom line. I almost think that we need to find some other ways to create some other affordable housing. Like, I don't know if it could be that we've got some surplus land that the housing authority could develop, and something like that. But I think a couple folks mentioned, like, if we make this decision, I mean, we don't know tomorrow, right? We make this decision and we, all of a sudden, everyone's building across, across Riddell, as opposed to building in the city of Bremerton. So I just want to, I don't have all the answers, but I want to be super careful. I'm excited about the 20-year option, assuming, maybe that I would have to, I liked whoever just brought up talking to the developers. I know they're, we sometimes consider them the evil folks, but they're some pretty good people. I think they're doing us, I think, a pretty good solid with what I've seen. But again, they're having to, they're taking investors' money and they have to deliver a return and they have to manage risk. I don't know if I have anything else on that. So most of this sounds pretty good. And I don't know if the 20 is desirable. I'd love to maybe hear from the developer community if the 20 years appropriate, because maybe the 20-year gets the 60%. Maybe the 12-year sort of stays where it's at, or maybe there's some small tweaking. And maybe the 8-year, kind of like somebody alluded to Port Orchard, or maybe the 8-year is only available in certain areas. And I don't know if that's best, for instance, in the downtown or further out, but DCD could kind of maybe look into that for us and see what other models are. I'm curious, this may be my first question after rambling for a bit. I'm curious as to when the RCW changed on this, and do we know of any municipalities that quickly took advantage of it, and are they seeing any results, assuming they did similar to what we're looking at doing?
And I can look into what the results of other municipalities were for the year.
Yeah, I mean, I fully support affordable housing. I want us to get there. It's just like you can't force some things, right? You can't force your kid to eat dinner sometimes, and I just want to make sure that there's not an unintended consequence. So I think that echoes a few other council members' thoughts of just like what is the sort of evidence behind some of the decisions we're looking at. So I think that's all I have. Oh, I want to I just saw Eric's hand. I do say I fully support us having another study session on this. So really getting some input and applying that input, and then making the changes. Is there any reason, I'm asking sort of the mayor and DCD, there's no reason, like, we're not on, we could do that?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we just have to hold a public hearing next week because we've
Yes.
advertised it.
Yep, no, I want a public hearing,
Yeah.
and I want us to, in study session, 2 weeks from now, plan to, talk about what we heard from people. If anyone's listening, I encourage emails as well, especially if you're not able to sort of testify next Wednesday. So, Eric, did you have something you wanted to, or did I steal your thunder?
No, you nailed it, President. Just change the motion to just strike that and say no action will be taken. This is for public testimony. And that's it.